My name is Aaron Pike, and if you've ever had the feeling that something noticed you before you noticed it, then you already understand more than you should. I don't scare easily. I work search and rescue in northern Idaho. I go out when people don't come back. I walk into places where something already went wrong. I know the difference between imagination and evidence, and what I'm about to tell you didn't feel like either. It felt like being assessed, like something out there needed a moment to decide what we were worth. This happened last September. My younger brother Eli had been asking me for years to take him somewhere real, not a marked trail, not a campsite, something off map, something that didn't forgive mistakes. I kept saying no. There's always a reason: work, timing, weather. Then he got into a car accident, nothing fatal, but his leg didn't heal right. The doctor said trips like that might not be an option much longer, so I said yes. We planned 3 days through a section of forest I knew well, no official trail, just old animal paths and terrain I'd learned over time. The first day was normal, quiet, predictable. We made good distance, set camp near a narrow stream, talked about things that didn't matter, things that made it feel like nothing had changed. If anything felt off, I didn't notice it. That's what bothers me now, how normal it all felt. It was the second day, late afternoon. We stopped to refill water at a shallow bend in the creek. Clear water, slow current, the kind of silence where even small sounds feel sharp. Eli was mid-sentence when he stopped, no warning, just cut off like something pulled his attention away. I looked at him. He wasn't looking at me, he was looking past me, and something in his face told me not to turn too fast, like moving too quickly might confirm something we weren't ready to understand. I turned anyway, slow, controlled, and at first I didn't see anything, just trees, shadow, distance. Then my eyes adjusted and something didn't line up, not movement, not sound, just a shape that shouldn't have blended as well as it did, like my brain had been ignoring it on purpose. There was someone standing between the trees, far enough that details didn't resolve, close enough that they should have reacted to us. They didn't. They were facing us, completely still, not shifting weight, not adjusting balance, not breathing in any way I could see, just fixed, like they had been there long before we arrived and had no intention of explaining themselves. Eli said very quietly, "How long has he been there?" And that question landed harder than anything I was looking at, because I didn't have an answer, and I should have. In terrain like that you hear people, always, footsteps, branches, water displacement, something. We hadn't heard anything, not before we arrived, not while we sat there. I raised my hand slightly, not a wave, more like a signal. "Hey," I called out. "You good?" Nothing, no reaction, no delay, no sign that the words even registered. I took one step forward, just one, and that's when it moved, not toward us, not away. It shifted sideways behind a tree, but it didn't turn its body, didn't break eye contact, didn't move like joints and muscles were involved. It just translated. Like the space it occupied changed position without the movement in between, smooth in a way that felt wrong to look at, and then it was gone, not hidden, not concealed, just no longer there, like it had been removed from the scene entirely. Eli grabbed my arm hard enough to hurt. "Did you see that?" he said, and I told him yes, because lying would have made it worse, and that's when something settled in, not panic, not even fear, something colder. The realization that whatever we had just seen didn't behave inside the same rules we relied on to feel safe. We packed up faster than necessary, neither of us saying what we were both thinking, and as we moved away from that spot I kept getting the same feeling in the back of my mind. Not watched, watched is passive, this felt active, like attention with intent behind it, like something was still there, just no longer where we could see it. From that point on we didn't just move through the forest, we listened, every step, every pause, every shift in the wind, and the worst part wasn't that it felt like something might be following us, it was that it felt like something had already decided to, and we just hadn't seen it happen yet. We didn't stop until the light started fading, not because we were in danger yet, but because stopping felt worse than moving, like if we stayed still for too long something would catch up to where we were supposed to be. We found a small rise above a dry section of ground, good visibility. No dense brush close to camp, the kind of place you pick without thinking when you've done this long enough. Eli didn't say much while we set up, and that alone told me more than anything he could have said. He's not quiet by nature, not unless something is sitting heavy in his head. We built a small fire, kept it controlled, more for routine than warmth, and for a while things almost felt normal again, almost. But every now and then I would catch him looking into the trees longer than necessary, like he expected something to step back into view if he And once it was fully dark, the forest did what it always does. It went quiet in a way that isn't silence, just the absence of anything careless. We didn't talk about what we saw, not directly, but we didn't need to. It was sitting there between us anyway, shaping every decision, every glance, every pause. We agreed without saying it that one of us would stay up, not a full watch, just someone awake, just in case. I took the first stretch, Eli crawled into the tent, and I stayed by the fire until, like something interrupting the natural noise without replacing it, eventually I went back to the fire, woke Eli, told him nothing specific, just that I was going to get some rest. He nodded like he understood more than I said. I don't know how long I slept, but it wasn't deep. It was the kind of sleep where your body stays half ready. I woke up once in the night, not fully, just enough to notice that the air felt different. Heavier somehow, like pressure before a storm. I remember thinking I could hear Eli moving outside the tent, slow steps, careful, like he didn't want to wake me, and that made sense at the time. I let myself drift again, and that's the part that bothers me most, how easily I accepted it. Morning came quiet, no birds at first, just that dull gray light that takes a minute to turn into anything real. I sat up, called Eli's name, no answer. I stepped outside and he was there, sitting by what was left of the fire, staring at the ground, not moving. "You good?" I asked. He nodded once, didn't look up. Something about that felt off immediately, not fear, not shock, just absence, like he had already processed something and decided not to share it. I followed his line of sight down to the ground between us, and that's when I saw it. Both of our packs had been opened, not torn, not forced, opened clean, like someone who understood how they worked. Items taken out and placed on the ground, not scattered, not searched through, arranged, deliberate. My knife, his flashlight, the map, the compass, all set side by side, evenly spaced, like a display, and in the center, our water bottles, both of them, standing upright, caps unscrewed, perfectly aligned. I knew for a fact we hadn't left them like that. I checked them myself before we turned in. Eli finally spoke, very quiet. I didn't hear anything he said, not once. I looked at him. "You didn't wake up." He shook his head. "I thought you were the one moving around." And right there's something cold, settled and deeper than anything from the day before, because that meant whatever had been in our camp, whatever had stood close enough to touch everything we owned, had done it without making a sound either of us could detect. I stepped closer to the bottles, not touching them yet, just looking. The water level was the same, nothing taken, nothing spilled, just exposed, like someone had opened them to see what would happen next. I capped one slowly, my hand steady but my head not, because this wasn't random, this wasn't an animal, this wasn't curiosity, this was intent, something that understood what these things were. Understood that we would recognize the change, that we would wake up, and see that our space had been entered, our things handled, and nothing taken, which somehow made it worse, because it meant the point wasn't the items, the point was us. We packed without talking, faster than the day before, no hesitation now, no debate about finishing the route. We were leaving, and we were leaving immediately. As we moved out I kept expecting to see something, a figure, a shape, anything to attach this to. But the forest stayed empty in the way it had before, too empty, like whatever had been there didn't need to be visible anymore. About an hour into the hike Eli stopped and turned slightly toward me. Not all the way, just enough that I could see his expression. It was tight, controlled, like he was holding on to something that didn't fit anywhere else. It wasn't just the stuff he said, it was outside the tent. "I thought it was you." It was walking around slow, like it was waiting for something. I felt my stomach drop but I didn't stop moving, didn't want to give whatever it was time to close distance again. We didn't rest after that, not once. We pushed straight through until the tree line broke and we hit the access road, and only then did it start to feel like we were back somewhere that followed rules again. I dropped him off at his place later that day. We didn't talk about it much, just enough to confirm that we both experienced the same things, and then we let it sit, like saying more would make it more real than it already was. It's been over a year now, and I've gone back out into the woods plenty of times since. Same job, same terrain, nothing like that has happened again. But there's one thing I haven't been able to shake, not the way it moved, not the silence, not even the fact that it got that close without us knowing. It's the choice it made, because whatever was out there had every opportunity to do something else, something worse, and it didn't. It opened our things, it arranged them, it left them for us to find, like a message written in a language we almost understand. And the only conclusion I keep coming back to is this: it wasn't trying to hide from us, it was showing us something, proving a point, that it could get as close as it wanted, that it understood us well enough to know what we would notice, and that it decided, for reasons I still don't understand, to leave us there untouched, and that decision, more than anything else, is the part that never really left me,